Okay, new gym, new workout, Heightmaxxing day 8. I'm taking advantage of some of the different tools that were available at this gym. It's always a good chance to test out new movements that you haven't done in a while. If you have scoliosis or kyphosis, there are probably parts of your posture, parts of the way that you generate force and strength in your body that are not as strong as other parts. And so when you have a chance to explore new ranges of movement, to do things that you haven't done in a while, please take advantage of those opportunities. Our world is getting more and more comfortable, and we end up going through the same movement patterns every day, day in, day out. And that can even happen in our gyms in the way we work out. So new sports and new hobbies, for example, surfing, the mobility to get up, the strength, the movement, all these different positions that you go through doing something like surfing are going to expose any weaknesses, any tightnesses that you have, and give you information that you can use in the gym in sessions like this to address. If there's tightness in your body, it needs to be relaxed and released. If there are restrictions, it needs to be felt through. Here, I'm finding some restriction in my hip, and I'm listening to my body, listening to my intuition to move through that range. I'm not looking for sharp pains. I'm looking for the release of tension. I am the restriction. I am the tension. So when I am aware of that tension, I can breathe and exhale it and let it go. When your body is aligned, it's able to produce force and strength effortlessly. There's some benefit from doing high repetition of these shoulder presses, but I'll be honest, these are mostly social media muscles or mirror muscles. I know the better I look physically in the mirror, I'm going to be able to attract more attention and therefore help people understand what's possible, what they can do in their bodies. So bigger arms, shoulders, let's go. By leaning here, I'm able to kind of focus more on just the upper body. Whilst doing this, be mindful of your breath, making sure you're not going into a super kind of lordosis, lower back curve as you're doing this. Breathing into the back of the diaphragm. Doing a bit of everything in this workout. Some T3 raises, you'll see that slight lift in the shoulder and then raising it. So the arm is straight up from the body, shoulder comes back, and then there's a raise. And you want to get that raise all above the ear. But here, I was feeling some major restriction on the way up. So what I did, I kind of used some momentum to push through it and got a pretty major alignment in there, as you can see. But yeah, this is a more typical movement. I am going to watch to make sure I go all the way up to the ear next time. Okay, let's keep weeding out those weaknesses. I'm still very much on the way to the single leg pistol squat as well as the dragon squat. So this is the shrimp squat, and I'm using the TRX here as a way to get the motion in, to get training wheels to go through the motion that I need to go through. A lot of restriction in the hips and the legs that prevent the fluid movement of it, and that great, nice force generation, which means this is exactly what I need to be doing. If I'm struggling with this because of restrictions and tightness, I know that I need to be doing this. I have to show up in the gym and do things that I'm not good at. What's the point of going to the gym and doing bicep curls or stuff that I can already do and that are easy to do? Balancing on one leg here and really activating the glutes and the one side of my chain, it really kind of exposes any tightnesses or restrictions. And so going through that motion, you're going to feel a lot of alignment going on. That's what all that wriggling was. I was actually feeling so much. I'm like, all right, let me take my shirt off so you can actually see the alignment that's happening during this movement. You'll notice a lot of the time I'm not guided here by doing 3 sets of 8 repetitions. I'm doing what my body needs to. I'm understanding the principles of time under tension, connecting with my central nervous system and feeling out how much it can take. Knowing that if it's more strength or a fluid, buttery movement pattern, I must claim it. I must go into the gym here and claim that new position. Here, the shrimp squat had exposed a deep imbalance there, and so I've had to slow down and really connect with that and understand that and identify if it's my own tightness that's in the way, or an imbalance, or whatever it was, and you'll see I wriggled it out there, and then I'm able to continue and start generating the force. It was around this point I noticed a big difference in generating strength and force from the front of my left foot and the back of my left foot. So on the front was much easier. My frontal chain is, I think, a bit more aligned, but the posterior chain going up from that heel, calf, glutes, along the back, the spiral lines, it's much more disconnected, dysfunctional, let's say. And so I'm forcing myself to go through this movement as best as I can with generating force from that heel, from the back there, to really force the posterior chain to get into alignment. So because I became aware of that in that movement, I looked for another movement where I could really focus on activating that posterior chain through my back. So looking at something I just felt out a movement that I wanted, that my body was calling for, to be able to generate force through the heels here and along that back chain. The same way we have pull days in the gym, we have push days. I really think having the anterior and posterior myofascial chain days are or should be a thing. And it's with movements like this and how we generate force through different parts of our feet that we can really start accessing this. So here, working on the horizontal pull, working towards the front lever, another exercise that activates the posterior chain. Now, as I'm pulling up here, I'm attempting to keep the ribs down, so I'm not flaring the ribs, but opening the chest, extending the thoracic, and then kind of squeezing the mid thoracic as high as I can open, and obviously that's directly in opposition to the 85-degree hyperkyphotic curve that I have exactly in that area. So it does feel like I'm trying to open a brick wall, but I'm doing it anyway because I know when I keep showing up day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, I know that these changes happen. I feel like I'm in a completely new and improved body right now because I know I've been doing the work, and so I know if I keep doing it, it's going to keep getting better, and I'm going to be in a much healthier position as I face, my later years in life. So here, working towards the muscle up. The muscle up requires to be able to get right up to the bar, really to get the sternum, to get that chest right up to the bar, and then switch to a pushing maneuver from there to push yourself up. And that's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it. I do recommend experimenting with different hand grips throughout this pose, this exercise. It will affect how your myofascial chains are being used in the exercise.
There's some people who are arriving to what I'm doing and they're like, well, show me your strength gains. And it's like, I'm not really optimizing for lifting the heaviest amount of weights. If you had a bridge, and I see the body, I like the analogy of a bridge because it has those suspension cables, and that's really the myofascial tensegrity that holds up our muscles and our bones. And when we have a kink in the pillars of the bridge, why would you try to run as many cars or fit as many cars on that bridge and stress the bridge that way, instead of optimizing the training for aligning and straightening that pillar? That's really everything that I'm doing as I'm building that all-terrain agility. So I'm getting to a point now where I'm starting to train a bit more strength in certain ways, but I know that's not the core objective of what I'm doing here. So I hope that clarifies. If you want my entire Heightmaxxing protocol, head over to posturedojo.com for the free 12-week psychosomatic holistic posture correction protocol. It's all yours. jump in and join in and share the lessons and the exercises that you discover as you uncompromise your best posture. See you in the next one.